Michele Mazelleغ, and I'm going to share with you all this message that I saw on Instagram, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So let's get into it. When I seen this particular message, an image on Instagram, it definitely resonated to me, because as I see and hear about so many people, so many news outlets talking about the Israeli and Palestinian conflict, my mind always goes to the fact that there's also conflict going on in the countries of Africa. The Sudan conflict is just one of them, and these conflicts are not being talked about. Most Americans don't even know that they're happening. Most Americans don't even know that these conflicts are taking place. A lot of them don't even know where these countries are, and it's not shocking. There has been a lot of African Americans who have posted videos, who've done interviews, who have shown a very strong support to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, particularly the Palestinians. And there have been a lot of different just videos on social media from African Americans that's sharing why Black people should be standing in solidarity with Palestinians. But nobody, no African Americans, not that many. I haven't seen any. I've been looking, y'all. I've been looking on social media to see if there's any African Americans who are talking about the conflicts that are happening on the continent of Africa. Is there any African Americans talking about it? And I haven't found any other than this video that Dr. Umar Johnson posted. That is so much a problem. You know, people can stand up for whatever they want to stand up for. They can support anything they want to stand up for, they want to support. That's not a problem. People don't have a problem with the support. But when it comes to African Americans and you are okay with supporting Palestinians, even though there are Afro-Palestinians, most of them are not Afro-Palestinians, you feel comfortable standing in solidarity with them and don't have any interest in calling attention to the conflicts that are happening on the continent of Africa? No hashtag, no social media posts, no video on YouTube, no protesting, no interviews, no nothing on the conflicts that are happening on the African continent. None. Zero. Zilch. On my page, on my YouTube channel, I can't tell y'all how many comments I get from African Americans coming on my channel, having a problem with me talking about the continent of Africa. They don't want me talking positive about it at all. None. Zero. Talking about how Africans hate African Americans. Africans don't understand African Americans. Africans don't care about African Americans. Anything negative that they can say about anybody on the African continent, they're going to speak it. In 2020, I think we all know what kind of year that was. The entire world protested during the George Floyd murder, including countries in Africa. They stood in solidarity with African Americans during that time. They protested in the streets for the violence against African Americans in the U.S. That's what the countries in Africa did in solidarity with the African Americans. The same continent that some of you all claim don't care nothing about African Americans at all. But they were there with their signs up, so where is that energy that you have for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Where's that energy for these conflicts that are happening on the African continent? Where's the energy? Where's the solidarity for the African continent. A lot of people look at Africa like it is in a world of all its own. Like it's not a part of the 7 continents of the world. Like it doesn't have people living there. Like, you know, like they don't, like it does not exist. People detach themselves from the African continent and the African people. And a lot of them detach themselves so they don't have to concern themselves with what's going on there. They can turn a blind eye. They don't have to think about what's going on. And then they don't have to feel guilty when they've done nothing to help, when they've done nothing to stop, when they've done nothing to spread awareness to what's going on there. So it makes them feel better if they detach themselves from it. I can remember watching Hotel Rwanda. It came out in 2004. So I would have been 24, maybe 25, depending on when it came out. I'm not really for sure the particular month. And I had no idea. Had no idea that was even something that happened in Rwanda. I didn't even know it was a true story. I mean, I didn't even know. I had no idea. Mind you, the Rwandan conflict happened in 1994, so I would have been 14 at the time. But I was not even taught about any of that in school. You know, I didn't know anything like that had ever happened on the continent of Africa. Was no clue. Learned about the Holocaust in school, of course. Definitely learned about that particular genocide, but I hadn't learned about any other types of genocide that was really happening or ever happened on the African continent. And that is what the problem is. These atrocities and conflicts happen on the African continent and nobody knows about it. Nobody's talking about it. There are some African Americans who feel detached from the continent of Africa. They turn a blind eye to the continent. They turn a blind eye to the people. They turn a blind eye to these countries so they don't have to think about what's going on there. They don't have to be made aware of what's going on there. They're able to attach to everybody else, but can't seem to find even a little bit to help them to connect to the continent of Africa. Separating themselves so far, and then start to create the reasons why they can no longer connect to the African continent. But it's like, but you can find reasons to connect with so many other people, so many other situations, so many other countries, but you can't find a little bit of connection to the continent of Africa, to the people that look like you. It's important to educate yourself. As African Americans, we have to educate ourselves on what's going on the African continent, to be aware of what's going on there, to be mindful of what's going on there, the conflicts that are affecting a lot of people, and to let people know. Because just like Dr. Umar said in his video, when African Americans start focusing their attention on everybody else and everything else, the world will continue to do what they always do, and they will continue to ignore what's going on with black people around the world. They're not going to worry about it. They're not worrying about the conflicts that are happening on the African continent. I was watching a documentary about Afro-Palestinians, and not a lot of people are talking about the Afro-Palestinians. And Dr. Umar mentioned that in his video as well, but I had seen that before I watched his TikTok video about the Afro-Palestinians. Nobody's talking about those Afro-Palestinians at all whatsoever. They try to act like they want to include them when they talk about it, but they're not. Most people probably didn't even know they existed, that there was even such thing as Afro-Palestinians. And I don't know why people don't realize black people are all over this world. And everywhere they are, they get mistreated if they're not around their own. If they're not around people that look like them, they're getting mistreated. That's just the way it is. And that's the reason why it's important that we stand in solidarity with people that look like us, because nobody else is going to stand in solidarity for us. So the purpose of me really doing this video is to really share awareness of what's going on in these countries of Africa, the conflicts that are happening there, to be aware that it is happening, so that you can't say you don't know. So you can't turn a blind eye, because now you know you have been made aware of it, and now it's important to continue to share it to anybody who will listen, so that they won't forget the people on the African continent, because they're there. They're important. Their lives matter. And it's past time, that as African Americans, we have to be the ones to be there for them like they were there for us in 2020. We can't forget those things. We can't forget when a country, when a continent has stood for us. It is time to return that favor. I'm just saying. I am Michele Mazelleغ. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.